You do not get to pretend you forgot. That is what the man in the yellow rain jacket says when he steps into my path on the coastal boardwalk. His hood shines with moisture, and his face is the kind you skim past without seeing, except his eyes do not skim. They pin me. The fog presses in, thick enough to turn the string lights above the planks into pale coins. The ocean is somewhere beyond the rail, breathing slow. A foghorn moans out over the water, low and patient. I keep walking because stopping feels like admitting something. He matches my pace. He does not raise his voice. He speaks like we are in the middle of a conversation that started days ago. You told him you would be back before midnight, he says. You said it right here. I do not know him. I do not know who he means. Still, my stomach tightens as if I do. I try the simplest truth. I think you have me confused with someone else. The foghorn answers with a short, clipped blast, too quick to be weather. The man in the rain jacket tilts his head like he hears it as punctuation. No, he says. I do not. A couple walks past us with paper cups, laughing too loudly, shoulders pressed together. Their laughter thins and vanishes into the mist. It is suddenly quiet enough that I can hear the damp wood under my shoes. I stop. He stops. A bench sits to my left, wet and empty. Behind it, the black shape of a closed souvenir shop. Ahead, the boardwalk stretches into a white blur where the fog swallows distance. What did I do? I ask. The question leaves my mouth before I can stop it. I regret it the moment the words exist, because the foghorn answers again. A single long note that rises and then fades, like a throat clearing. The man smiles without warmth. There it is, he says. You always ask that first. My phone is in my pocket. I do not reach for it because reaching feels like escalation, and I am trying to keep this on the level of a misunderstanding. But my pulse has already crossed that line. I say, I do not know you. You know the sound, he replies. He turns his head toward the ocean. The foghorn is somewhere out there, unseen, and yet it feels close, like it is anchored under the planks. People on this boardwalk talk to it, he continues. They think it is a trick, a sensor, a prank, a speaker. They ask it things. They laugh when it answers. He looks back at me. You asked it something you should not. I do not remember doing that, but the way he says it makes my mind reach for a memory it cannot quite grasp. At night, the same damp air, my own voice carried away by the wind. I say, what did I ask? The foghorn answers before he does, 3 short blasts in a pattern that feels intentional. The man watches me closely, like he is studying my face for recognition. You asked where he was, he says. My mouth dries. Who? I asked. You know who, he says. You just do not know you know. He steps closer. The rain jacket smells faintly of metal and seawater. His voice lowers. He was coming, he says. You were not supposed to call him early. A cold sensation crawls up my spine. I glance past him, down the boardwalk. The fog shifts, revealing shapes that could be people, could be posts, could be nothing. I say, I am leaving. He does not block me, not exactly. He just lifts a hand and shows me something between his fingers. A motel key card. It is wet, like it has been in his mouth or in the ocean. The print is smeared, but readable. A logo for a motel nearby, the kind with a neon sign shaped like a shell. Under it, a room number, 731. He says, you dropped it. I stare at the number. I have never stayed in any motel on this coast. I came down for a late walk because I cannot sleep and the sea air usually scrubs my thoughts clean. My pockets hold my phone, my wallet, my own keys. No key card. I say, that is not mine. The foghorn gives a single short blast. The man watches me flinch. It does not exist, he says. What does not? I ask. That room, he says. 731. There is no 7th floor. There is no 31. It is not on any map. It is not on the records. He presses the card into my hand. The plastic is colder than it should be. Then why is it here? I ask. He leans in close enough that I can see rain being on his eyelashes. Because you asked for it, he whispers. I pull my hand back like it burns me. The card sticks to my skin for a second, then peels away with a tacky sound. I try to hand it back. He does not take it. Keep it, he says. It is already yours. I am about to demand his name when something changes in the fog behind him. The air seems to thicken, not with moisture, but with presence. A shape detaches from the whiteness. At first I think it is just a shadow cast by the string lights. Then I realize the string lights do not reach that far. There is no strong light source. The fog diffuses everything. The shape is darker than the night around it. It moves like a person walking, but its edges are wrong, too soft, like smoke trying to imitate a body. It is coming toward us. The man in the yellow rain jacket does not turn around. He does not need to. He says it arrives early. My throat tightens. What arrives early? I ask. The foghorn answers with one long note that seems to vibrate through the planks into my feet. The shadow, he says. The owner comes after. That is how it works when you call it. I cannot look away from the approaching darkness. It is still far, but it moves with steady intent. I try to judge speed and distance, but the fog makes it impossible. It could be 20 feet away. It could be 100. I say, I did not call anything. He finally turns his head and his eyes are flat. You asked where he was, he repeats. The horn answered you. You took that answer and made it a door. I grip the key card. My fingers are numb. I say, how do I undo it? The man's mouth twitches like he almost laughs, but he does not. You do not undo it, he says. You finish what you started. The shadow draws closer. Its movement is silent, but the air seems to cool as it nears, like the temperature drops around it. The fog around it curls inward as if it is being pulled. I step back. The man does not move. He says if you run, it follows you. If you stand, it waits. If you go to the room, it stays outside. The room that does not exist, I say. He nods once. I look past him, scanning for other people. The couple is gone. The boardwalk feels abandoned. The shops are dark. The only movement is the fog itself, and that dark shape gliding toward us. My phone suddenly vibrates. I fumble it out. The screen shows a notification from a number I do not recognize. It is a text. You said you would be back before midnight. My blood turns thin. I look at the time. 11:47 p.m. Another vibration. Another text. Do you have the card? I type without thinking. Who is this? The reply comes immediately. You do not get to pretend you forgot. I raise my eyes to the man in the rain jacket. His hands are in his pockets. His phone is not visible. You were texting me, I say. He shakes his head. Not me, he says. The foghorn gives 2 short blasts, like a warning. The shadow is close enough now that I can see it is not attached to any body. It is its own thing. It has the approximate height of a person, but no features, no limbs I can clearly count. It is like a cutout of darkness held upright. It stops. Not in front of me. Not in front of the man. It stops beside us, slightly behind, as if it has taken its place in line. My skin prickles. The instinct to bolt is overwhelming. The man in the rain jacket says, do you feel it? I do. The way the air behind my neck feels occupied, like someone standing too close. I swallow. What is it? I whisper. The shadow does not move, but the fog around it ripples and I get the sensation of attention without eyes. It is early, the man says again. It came ahead of him to make sure you do not change your mind. I force myself to speak clearly, to keep my voice from shaking. Who are them? The man looks toward the ocean, toward the unseen horn. The one you asked about, he says. My phone vibrates again. Midnight is close. I type, what happens at midnight? The reply appears as if it is already waiting. You open the door. A memory flashes, sharp and wrong. My hand holding a key card. My voice in fog saying, where are you? The foghorn answering in a pattern that felt like an address. Laughter from someone beside me, then a sudden stop, like they heard something I did not. I clutch my head with my free hand. No, I say, I was not here. I would remember. The man in the rain jacket watches me with a look that is almost pity. You are here, he says. You were tired. You were angry. You wanted to know where he was so you could stop waiting. Stop waiting for what? I snap. The foghorn answers, a long mournful note that makes my teeth ache. The man's voice is soft. For him to come back, my stomach lurches. I think of the last few weeks, the way my sleep has been shredded by dreams of walking along water, calling a name I cannot remember in the morning. I think of waking up with the taste of salt on my lips. I say, I do not know who you think I am. The man takes one step to the side, making space. Go to the motel, he says. I look down at the key card again. 731. The numbers seem to shimmer slightly in the fog light. I say, what if I do not? The shadow shifts, just a little. The air behind me presses closer. My breath catches. The man speaks like he is reciting rules. If you do not, it waits until he arrives. And when he arrives, he will not be polite. My phone vibrates once more. I am almost there. I do not type back. My fingers are stiff. I look around, finally seeing the boardwalk as a trap. The fog makes every direction uncertain. The ocean is a blank. The street is somewhere behind the shops, but I cannot see it. I start walking, not running. Running feels like giving the shadow permission. The man in the rain jacket falls into step beside me. The shadow glides behind, keeping pace, soundless. I say, why are you helping me? He does not answer right away. The foghorn sounds again, a short burst, like a laugh cut off. He says, I'm not helping you. I am making sure you do not do it again. Do what again? I ask. Ask questions you cannot pay for, he says. The boardwalk bends slightly. A cluster of closed food stands appears through the fog, their signs ghostly. The smell of old grease mixes with salt. My phone screen lights up without a vibration. A new message appears as if it pushes through. Do not trust the man in yellow. I stop so suddenly that the man takes another step before he notices. He turns back to me. What, he asks. I hold up the phone. He reads the screen. His expression does not change. Of course he says that. He murmurs. Who? I demand. The man's gaze flicks to the shadow behind me. Not him, he says. The owner. I feel the shadow's attention sharpen, like a knife turning. I force myself to keep moving. The motel is not far from the boardwalk, set back across a parking lot that is mostly empty at this hour. I can see its neon shell sign through the fog, blinking slowly. The light makes the mist glow pink and sickly. As we approach, the foghorn continues to answer things I do not say out loud. It moans once when I look at the time again. 11:56 p.m. It gives 2 short blasts when my hand tightens around the key card. The man in the rain jacket stops at the edge of the parking lot. I do not go farther, he says. Why not? I ask. Because I have my own door, he replies. I glance back at the boardwalk. The fog has swallowed it. The only thing I can see clearly is the shadow still behind me, its shape steady, patient. I step into the parking lot. The asphalt is wet and reflects the neon shell and broken pieces. The motel office is dark except for a small lamp behind the counter. A person sits there, head down, maybe asleep. I want to go in and demand help, call the police, tell them there is a man following me, a shadow stalking me, a foghorn that answers questions. But the idea of explaining it makes my tongue feel thick. The shadow feels closer now, like it is urging me toward the rooms. The man in the rain jacket stays behind, just outside the pool of neon light. He watches me like a guard. I walk along the row of doors. Each has a number. 101, 102, 103. The building is 2 stories, with an exterior walkway above. The fog curls around the railings. I climb the stairs to the 2nd floor because the key card number starts with 7, and my mind insists that means higher, even though the man said there is no 7th floor. Up here, the air is colder. The doors are closed. The curtains are drawn. The silence is heavy. The shadow follows up the stairs without making a sound. It keeps a distance of a few steps, like it is respectful of property lines. I check the time again. 11:59 p.m. My phone vibrates. Open it. I whisper. I cannot. There is no room. The foghorn answers faintly from the ocean, a single note that feels like insistence. I walk to the end of the exterior walkway. The last door is 220. Past it, there is only a blank wall and the fog beyond. Yet as I stand there, the fog shifts, and I see something that makes my knees weaken. A door that should not be there. It is not attached cleanly to the wall. It looks like it has been pressed into place, slightly crooked. The paint is newer than the rest, too smooth. There is no number plate. My key card feels heavier in my hand. Behind me, the shadow stops. The air tightens. The whole world seems to hold its breath. I look back down to the parking lot. The man in the rain jacket is still there, small in the neon glow, staring up. I cannot hear his voice, but I see his mouth move. Do not speak to it again. The time flips on my phone. 12:00 a.m. The key card in my hand warms suddenly, like it has been waiting for this exact second. My phone lights up with one final message. I am here, but I am not alone. The fog around the impossible door thickens, then thins, like something on the other side is breathing. The shadow behind me leans forward without taking a step, stretching toward the door as if it wants to go in first. I raise the key card to the reader that is not there a moment ago, but now sits beside the handle, blinking a dull red. From the parking lot, the man in yellow lifts his hand palm out, as if to stop me. The foghorn booms once, loud enough that the glass in the motel windows trembles, and from somewhere close, too close, a voice speaks my name from inside the door, like it has been waiting behind it the whole time. The reader light turns green. The handle begins to turn by itself.